Hari Om everyone. Thank you to Ganesh ji for those very soulful bhajans today. A very warm welcome to all of you for our last day of Jnana Yajna on Upadesa Sara. For the last 4 days, Swami ji has given us a wonderful discourse. Without mincing any words, he has taken a hammer to all our notions about ourselves. And yesterday in particular, he was talking about the mind, the subjective mind and the objective mind, and how self-inquiry into the root of the mind, which is the ahamvritti, will lead us to manonasha, and then all that remains is the pure consciousness. And today we look forward to Swamiji elaborating on the nature of that consciousness and how that is our identity. I welcome Swamiji onto stage to continue the discourse today. Thank you.
सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः मनोबुद्ध्यहङ्कार चित्तानि नाहं न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायुः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न च प्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायुः न वा सप्तधातुर्न वा पञ्चकोशः न वाक्पाणिपादौ न चोपस्थपायु चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् ॐ नमः शिवाय 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 ॐ Shivaya. Om Namah 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 Shivaya. Antaryascha bahirvidhutatimiram jyotirmayam shashvatam sthanam prapya virajate vinamata ajnanamunmulayan pashyan vishvamapidamullasatiyo Vishvasya pare paraha tasmai Shri Ramanaya loka gurave shokasya hantre namaha tasmai Shri Ramanaya loka gurave shokasya hantre namaha. Let us chant from the beginning. 20 verses. Karturajñaya prapyate phalam karma kim param karma tajjadam kruti mahaudadho patana karanam phalama shashvatam gati nirodhakam Ishvararpitam nechaya kritam chitta shodhakam mukti sadhakam kaya vangmana karyamuttamam Chintanam kramat jagata ishadhi yukta sevanam ashtamurti bhradeva pujanam uttamastavadhucchamandatah chittajam japa dhyanamuttamam Ajyadharaya shrotasasamam saralachintanam viralataf param bheda bhavanat sohamityasau bhavanabhida pavani Bhavashunya sadbhavasusthitihi bhavana balad bhaktiruttamam hritstale manah swasthata kriya bhakti yoga bodhascha nishchitam Liyate manah jalapakshivat rodhasadhanam chittavayavah chitkriyayutah shakhayordvayi shakti mulaka laya vinashane ubhayarodhane Layagadam punar bhavati nomritam pranabandhanat linamanasam एकचिन्तनात् नाशमेत्यदः नष्टमानसोत्कृष्टयोगिनः कृत्यमस्ति किम् दृश्यवारितं चित्तमात्मनः चित्त्वदर्शनं तत्त्वदर्शनं मानसं तु किं मार्गणे कृते नैव मानसं मार्ग आर्जवात् वृत्तयस्त्वहं वृत्तिमाश्रिताः वृत्तयो मनो विध्यहं मनः अहमयं कुतो भवति चिन्वतः ऐपतत्यहम् अहमिनाशभाज्यहमहन्तया स्फुरति हृत्स्वयं परमपूर्णसत् स्फुरति हृत्स्वयं परमपूर्णसत्. After having discussed puja and japa and dhyana, and after having discussed the limitations of pranayama, then Bhagavan comes to the main topic of self-enquiry. So the destruction of the mind, how to achieve mano nasha, ekachintana nashameti adaha, it has been said. Meditating upon that one, the mind is destroyed. How to destroy the mind? Drishyavaritam chittam atmanaha chittva-darshanam tattva-darshanam. We draw the mind from everything that is seen. Pay attention to the seer, the observer. This is the way, because the seer, the observer, the drashta itself is the ultimate reality, the Supreme Lord. Manasam tu kim margane krite naiva manasam. Mind is nothing but flow of thoughts. When you witness this mind, the mind disappears. But then Bhagavan gives a little more detail. What is this mind? Mind is nothing but thoughts. But what are the thoughts we have? So the thoughts can be classified into two. What are they? Idam vritti and aham vritti. And what is the relationship? All the idam vrittis, vrittayaha tu aham vrittim ashritaha. All the idam vrittis, they are supported by aham vritti. So if aham vritti can be destroyed, all the idam vrittis automatically get destroyed. Just like once the root is cut, the whole tree along with its twigs, branches, leaves, they get destroyed. So this is the technique. So what is the relationship between idam vritti and aham vritti? All the idam vrittis are to ensure the protection of aham vritti, to give it security and happiness. All the idam vrittis are directed towards securing the aham vritti. But suppose if we come to know that this aham doesn't need any security, doesn't need any happiness, because this aham is already secure, it is Sat Swarupa of the nature of existence. This aham is already Ananda Swarupa of infinite bliss. Then what will happen to idam vritti? The idam vritti stops. The mind ceases to function. Why the mind ceases to function? Because now it has no job. The self is already secure. The self is already infinitely blissful. Then there is no more any purpose for idam vritti. This is how we have to attain bhava shunya sat bhava susthitihi. The moment our attention goes to consciousness, the moment we experience the perfection of consciousness, there is nothing that need to be added, that need to be procured, to be attained. Once the mind experiences the perfection of the self, the thought cease. This is called silencing the mind. Right. So as our attention goes to the self, the real aham in us, let not we remain in aham vritti. Let us go to the real aham. Ahamayam kuto bhavati iti chinvataha. Where is this aham vritti rising from? Then we come to know, aham vritti is nothing but a bundle of wrong notion about ourselves. They are nothing but thoughts, and these thoughts can be witnessed. So remaining in aham when we witness these thoughts, putting in other words, when we shift our attention to the pure consciousness in us, the witnessing consciousness in us, then what happens? So yesterday we had seen a law. When the thoughts are witnessed, they die. When the thoughts we get identified, they multiply. So then what happens is, the aham vritti falls, and in its place what shines is only aham. And what is the nature of this aham? Paramapurna Sat. Now what actually this Paramapurna Sat means, that is explained in the next verse. Sat means existence. Purna means perfect, complete existence. Bhagavan, why do you say this aham is complete, perfect, absolute existence? Now Bhagavan compares aham vritti with aham. That is the next verse, verse number 21. Idamaham padabhikhyamanvaham ahamilinake pyalaya sattaya idamaham padabhikhyamanvaham ahamilinake pyalaya sattaya. Yes. Idam aham pada abhikhyam. This so-called aham, this so-called pure aham, the pure I, the pure consciousness, how is it different from aham vritti? This aham vritti, anuaham, every day, leenake, it dissolves. Every day, aham vritti dissolves. When does it dissolve? During the sleep. When we go to sleep, aham vritti dissolves. But what about this aham? Alaya sattaya. There is no layam. It is alayam. And it ever remains as existence, sattaya. So, aham vritti depends upon the states of the mind, whereas aham doesn't depend on any of these states. What are the three states of mind we go through? Deep sleep, dream and waking state. They are the three different states of the mind. Aham vritti comes and goes with different states, whereas this aham, the pure consciousness, is ever there. So this itself shows that this is absolute reality, because one of the definition of reality is abadhyatvam satyatvam. What is the definition of reality? That which can never be negated is real. That which never comes and goes is real. That which is ever permanent. Tri avasthasu, tri kaleshu, yat tisthati tat sat. This is another definition. In all the three periods of time, in all the three states of mind, that which remains is truth. So if this is the definition of truth, what is that one thing which remains in all the three periods of time and three states of mind? That is this. So this consciousness is ever there, irrespective of the states of mind. The different states of mind come and go, but this remains. Like the movie screen. The movie happenings, the movie scenes come and go, but the screen is always there as the very substratum, giving existence to the light and shades of the movie. In the same way, for the different states of mind, this consciousness remains as a substratum, giving existence to them. So therefore, this aham is original, aham vritti is duplicate. So you hold on to anything duplicate, you will suffer. Always go for the original aham, the real aham. Right? Yes. Now, how did this aham vritti come into existence? That is the next verse, verse number 22. Vigrahendriya pranadhitamaha nahamekasat tajjadam hyasat Vigrahendriya pranadhitamaha nahamekasat tajjadam hyasat. Yes. Vigraha, Indriya, Prana, Dhi, Tamaha, Na Aham. I am not any of these things. Vigraha. Vigraha means a physical body here. Vigraha actually means form, but here it means physical body. Vigraha, Indriya. Jnanendriyas and Karmendriyas. Organs of action, organs of knowledge. Then Indriya Prana, the Pancha Pranas. Dhi, intellect, mind and intellect. Tamaha. Tamaha means ignorance. Tamaha also means the Karana Sharira. So I am not the Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira or Karana Sharira. I am not the Pancha Koshas. I am none of these. Then who am I? Eka Sat, that one reality. But what about all this? Body, mind, intellect, pranas? Tat jadam. They are inert. And therefore, asat, unreal. So, there is a law in spirituality. What is the law? Yad drishyam tat jadam. Whatever is seen is jada. Only the seer is Chaitanya, sentient. That alone is sentient. Everything, anything that becomes an object of perception, anything that can be objectified, it is jada, it is inert. So if this is the law, all these things are things which we can objectify. You can witness them. You can observe them. Vigraha, Indriya, Prana, Dhi, Tamaha. Therefore, that is not me. Anything which can be objectified is not me. I am that ultimate witness, Ekasat, that witnessing consciousness. Bhagavan, who knows, there may be another consciousness witnessing this consciousness. Maybe this is consciousness one. Who knows, there can be another consciousness two witnessing this consciousness one. So this question is answered in the next verse. Verse number 23. Sattvabhasika chitkvavetara sattaya hi chittaya hyaham sattvabhasika chitkvavetara sattaya hi chittaya hyaham. Sattvabhasika chitkva itara. Is there a chit which is observing this sat? So answer is no. Okay. Is there a chit which is observing this sat? No. Meaning this consciousness is the ultimate witness. There cannot be such a possibility because what is the logic? Yad drishyam tad jadam. So suppose let us assume that there is a consciousness 2 which is observing consciousness 1. Then based on this law, yad drishyam tad jadam, then what should happen to consciousness 1? It should become jadam, inert. But we are calling it as consciousness. So that itself is contradiction. How can consciousness be inert? Not possible. So therefore, this consciousness is the ultimate observer. There is no other consciousness witnessing this consciousness. Now another question may come. Bhagavan, generally we describe this consciousness as Sat, Chit, Anand. Are they independent properties? For example, like a flower. The flower has freshness, the flower has color, and the flower has fragrance. Are they dependent or independent to each other? Of course, they are all dependent on the flower, but are they independent of each other or dependent on each other? We say they are independent because it's possible that the flower has become dry, but the fragrance may remain, the color may remain. You see? So one property is independent of the other. In the same way, Bhagavan, you are saying Sat, Chit and Anand. It appears there are 3 different properties. Are they dependent or independent? So that question is answered here. Sattayahi Chit. Sat itself is Chit. Chit itself is Aham. So that means all the 3 remain together. So to understand this, we have to experience it subjectively. So Sat equal to Chit equal to Aham. So now let us try to experience our Aham. I exist. Is it possible to say, I am aware of my non-existence? Can we say that? The very fact that I am aware shows that I am existing. One. Second combination. What is the second combination? I am an inert existence. Can you say that? The very fact that you are saying I am shows that you are conscious, you are sentient, you are alive. So therefore you can never say I am inert existence. So what does it mean? Consciousness always go together with existence, and consciousness and existence is always experienced as I. Sattaya hi chit, chittaya hi aham. They always exist together. They are not independent properties. Okay. Now another question comes. What is the next question? The next question is, Bhagavan, you say that I am God. That's what you are saying. This aham is God. But according to us, there is a huge difference between Jivatma and Paramatma. Paramatma is Sarvashaktiman, Sarvavyapi, Mayapati, Sarvajna. Whereas the Jiva is Alpavyapi. I hope you are able to understand all these terms, Sanskrit terms. Alpavyapi, small size. Alpashaktiman, limited power. Alpatnya, limited knowledge. Maya Dasa, a slave of Maya. Whereas Bhagavan is just the opposite. How can you say I am God? Many people have objection regarding this statement, Aham Brahmasmi. So that topic is taken up next. Let us chant verse number 24 and 25. Isha jivayor veshadhibhida Satsvabhavato vastu kevalam Veshahanatah swatmadarshanam Ishadarshanam swatmarupatah Isha jivayor veshadhibhida Satsvabhavato vastu kevalam Veshahanatah swatmadarshanam Ishadarshanam swatmarupatah. Yes, so the relationship between Isha and Jiva, Paramatma and Jivatma is mentioned here. Isha Jivayoho Veshadhi Bhida. Bhida, there is a difference. Between whom? Isha and Jiva. Paramatma and Jivatma. There is a difference. When Veshadhi, when you are paying attention to the Vesham, the form, yes, there is a difference. Jivatma can never be equal to Paramatma. How can Jiva be equal to Ishvara? When attention is upon the form, Jiva is limited, Bhagavan is unlimited, infinite. Definitely there is a difference. But Sat Swabhavatah. But when we pay attention to the Swabhavam, the nature, the essence of Jiva and essence of Ishvara. Satsvabhavatah vastu kevalam. There is only one. With respect to the external Names and forms, definitely there is a difference. But with respect to the essence, both are one and the same. This understanding has to be there. Otherwise, we'll find people fighting, Dvaitis and Advaitis and Vishishtadvaitis. Fight. Advaitis have no problem. Others have problem. Others have problem. We don't have any problem. Why we don't have any problem? We don't have any problem because we know that at different standpoints, all these statements are valid. Dvaita is also valid from a particular standpoint. Vishishtadvaita also is valid from another standpoint. Advaita is also valid. It is exactly like the relationship between wave and ocean. Are they same? Veshadhi vida, yes. When you are paying attention to the form, definitely ocean cannot be wave. They are two different things. That is called as Dvaita philosophy. Wave is not equal to ocean. That is Dvaita. Both are different. What is Vishishtadvaita? Vishishtadvaita says, Jiva is a part of Ishvara. Just like wave is a part of ocean. That is also right. Amshi sambandha is there. Yes. We accept that also. But then, if you see the essence, what is the essence of a wave? Water. What is the essence of ocean? Water. So, with respect to essence, wave equal to ocean. So, there are three different standpoints and all the three different standpoints are valid. They are not contradicting to each other. So this way we have to understand. In the same way, who is Jiva? Jivatma equal to consciousness plus BMI. What is Ishvara? Ishvara equal to, what is the equation? Consciousness plus Sthula Sukshma Karana Prapancha. The totality of BMI, we can say. So, Jiva is consciousness plus Sthula Sukshma Karana Sharira. Paramatma is consciousness plus Sthula Sukshma Karana Prapancha. Totality. In this, if you say, what is that unreal aspect? Yadrishyam tajjadam, yajjadam tat asat. So, anything which is inert matter is asat, unreal. Why matter is unreal? Where do we see the matter? In the mind. The whole world is seen in the mind. Without the mind, world has no existence. So the world exists in the mind. Mind is nothing but thoughts. So what is world? Nothing but thoughts. Thoughts can be silenced by witnessing. So therefore world can be silenced by witnessing. Therefore there is no world. This is called as Jagad Mithya. Got it? Once again, okay. Where do you see the world? In the mind. Any objection? Every one of us, we see the world in the mind. So therefore, world depends on the mind for its existence. Yes or no? World depends on the mind for its existence. The moment the mind goes, the world goes. When you go to sleep, there is no world. No, Swamiji, for me there is no world, but for others there is a world, no? Others, where do they see the world? In their mind. So the world depends on mind for its existence. World has no independent existence other than the mind. Mind is nothing but thoughts. And this mind, what is the nature of this mind? Manasam tu kim margane krite naiva manasam. When you inquire into the nature of the mind, mind is not there. So when mind is not there, how can the world which depends on the mind be existent? So therefore, the world is also asat. The best example is our dream example. In the dream, the whole world is seen. And the wrong notion is, I am in the world. Actually, you are not in the world. The world is in you. In fact, world is in your mind. And this truth you realize only when you wake up. Isn't it? In the same way, this world also. So therefore, what I am trying to say is, world is asat. Not only the world, anything which is drishyam is asat. And therefore, any matter is asat, is unreal. It's an illusion. So if this is the way we define matter as asat, now once again come to this equation. Jiva equal to consciousness plus sukshma, sthula, karana, sharira. Those who find these terms difficult, refer to Tattvabodh. Okay, Tattvabodh is the fundamental text of Vedanta. So Jiva equal to consciousness plus gross body, subtle body, causal body. Ishvara equal to consciousness plus gross, subtle, causal, prapancha, world. So what is the status of Sthula, Sukshma, Karana, Prapancha and Sterira? What is the status? It is Asat. What is consciousness? Sat. Real, existent. So therefore, removing, cancelling all the Asat part, what remains? Consciousness. So Jiva equal to consciousness, Ishvara equal to consciousness. Therefore what? Jiva equal to Ishvara. Sat swabhavatah vastu kevalam. Just like wave equal to water plus a form. Ocean equal to water plus a form. Form has no existence. It is just an appearance. So therefore both the forms get cut. What remains? Water. So therefore wave equal to ocean equal to water. Sat swabhavato vastu kevalam. So this clarity has to be there. When Bhagavan Sri Ramchandra ji asked Hanuman, Hanuman, what do you think of me? So then Hanuman answers, Deha buddhya tu dasoham Jiva buddhya tvadamshakah Atma buddhya tvamevaham Iti me nischalamatihi. Bhagavan, this is my firm conviction. Deha buddhya tu dasoham. Bhagavan, I am a dasa, I am a servant. Deha buddhya. As far as the body is concerned, Bhagavan, I am your servant. Jiva buddhya tvadamshakah. As a jiva, I am a part of you. You are the whole, I am a part. As a jiva. Atma buddhya tvameva aham. As Atma, I am you, you are me. We are one. Iti me nischalamati. This is my firm conviction. Hanumanji was very clear. You see? So this explains all of Dvaita, Vishishtadvaita and Advaita. So it's not a conflict. In fact, as a devotee, sometimes Dvaita is also very sweet. As Ramakrishna Param says, I don't want to become sugar. I want to enjoy sugar. So I want to be an ant and enjoying sugar. That's also very sweet. You see? So sometimes remain separate from the Lord and enjoy His love, His affection, His protection. his company. You see. So there are two different channels, Bhakti channel and Jnana channel. Sometimes when Jnana channel is boring, you go to Bhakti channel. You see. One is the language of the head. The other is the language of the heart. Head and heart. You must be able to enjoy both. When you are in the language of the heart, then you say, Bhagavan, I am nothing, I know nothing, I have nothing. And in the head, Brahmasmi. You see? You should be comfortable with both. Bhagavan Shankaracharya himself was so comfortable in both. Even Ramana Bhagavan also. When he would listen to the stories in the Puranas, he would cry and weep, listening to the stories of the devotees. His voice would get choked. They used to, do the Parayana of Purana, etc. So some devotees would come and they would read. So some of the stories, they would see Ramana Bhagavan, shedding tears. You see. And some other time, he is just into that, merged in the self, not even aware of the body, not even aware of the world, not even aware of day and night. You see. Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji, when head is active, commentaries on Upanishads. When heart is active, stotrams like Ganga Stotram. Bhagavan, I am a nobody. Kuputro jayeta kvachit kumatana bhavati. Oh mother, a bad son may be born. A mother can never be bad. Such stotrams are written. All filled with devotion. So this way, we should be comfortable with everything. With Dvaita also, with Advaita also, with Vishishta Advaita also. Different times. When there are problems in life, miserable, then don't get into Advaita. Become a Dvaiti. Okay. There are times when you have to pray for some help. Even the greatest devotees were Artha Bhaktas and Artharthi Bhaktas at some time. Nothing wrong. Ask help. So thus, enjoy the different noble emotions in spirituality. Revel in all rasas. Okay. So, coming back, Isha Jivayor Veshadhi Bhida Satsvabhavato Vastu Kevalam Veshahanatah Swa Atma Darshanam. When you give up this Vesham, when you pay attention to the essence, Swa Atma Darshanam, you see your own self. Isha Darshanam Swa Atma Rupataha. When you see your own self, that itself is Isha Darshanam. That itself is vision of God. Vision of the self itself is vision of God. But Bhagavan, in so many stories we find devotees having vision of God at someone different, some divine form coming. Next verse. Verse number 26. Atma samsthiti swatma darshanam Atma nirdvayad atma nishtata Atma samsthiti swatma darshanam Atma nirdvayad atma nishtata. Yes. So how to have this vision of self? You cannot see it as an object because it is self. So therefore, Atma Darshanam is nothing but Atma Samsthitihi. Abidance in the self itself is the vision of the self. Don't expect some vision external to you, outside you. No. Abidance in the self itself is the vision of the self, itself is the vision of God also. If there is any other vision other than self-abidance, then that vision is only a play of mind. It is not real. It is just an imagination of the mind. Maybe the mind is very pure, so a wonderful imagination, but it's an imagination. Because Atma Nirdvayat, Atma cannot be two, Atma is only one. You cannot say, this Atma is watching that Atma. There are no two Atmas. Jivatma and Paramatma, the Atma aspect is only one. There is only one. So the vision of God has to be abidance in the self. There is no other way. But what about the Puranas? We see Bhagavan coming in front. Chaturbhuja, Dhari, blessing. You will always find that that which comes, goes. That is also there. See, Vedavyasa Rishi is very careful. He has not made a mistake. If you want a particular form of God, fine. That God, out of infinite compassion and love, He will take a form and appear in front of you. That's Bhagavan. So Ramakrishna Paramahansa beautifully gives you an example. What is the form of water? Water is formless. Water by itself is formless. But under extreme cold temperature, it takes a form of an ice, isn't it? In the same way, Bhagavan by himself, it is formless. But when a devotee intensely craves, desires to see the form of the Lord in which he has meditated upon, Bhagavan, out of compassion for the devotee, takes a form and appears in front. That's all. Just to please him. So, just because Bhagavan has taken the form, don't say that this alone is the form of the Lord. No, it is like that ice. Don't say this ice form itself is the form of water. No, no, no. Beautiful example. And you will always find that any God which comes, he also goes. And you will always find a Vishnu Bhakta will have a vision of Vishnu. A Jesus Bhakta will have a vision of Jesus. Jesus Bhakta will not have a vision of Vishnu. That itself shows that the mind is involved. Whatever training you give to the mind, samskaras you give to the mind will project that. That is called as vision. We are not talking of any projection. We are talking of reality as it is. Reality as it is self alone. So therefore, Ishvara Darshanam has to be Swatma Darshanam, and Swatma Darshanam has to be Atmanishtata or Atma Samsthitihi. Firm abidance in the self itself is a vision of the self. You cannot see self. You can only be self. Being is seeing. If you are seeing yadrishyam tajjadam, then that is not God. That's a play of the mind. Swamiji, in my seat of meditation, I hear a lot of sound. Om, I hear. Swamiji, Bhagavan is of the nature of Om? No. That's again a play of mind. Om is only a pointer. It's not the pointed. If you are hearing some sound, Anahata sound, Swamiji, what are you talking? If there is a Shabda, then there is an observer of that Shabda. That observer is God. So whatever vision you see, color you see, sound you hear, your attention should be not upon the sound. Your attention should be the observer, perceiver of that sound. That alone is real. Atma nirdvayat atma nishtata. Abidance in the self is a vision of the self. Now, Bhagavan takes up the topic of knowing the self. Is it like knowing anything else in this world? Next verse, verse number 27. Jnana-varjita ajnana-hina-chit Jnanamasti kim jnatumantaram Jnana-varjita jnana-hina-chit Jnanamasti kim jnatumantaram. Yes. This knowledge, jnana varjita, it is devoid of knowledge. Ajnana hina chit. This chit is ajnana hina, devoid of ajnana also. Is it knowledge? No. Is it ignorance? No. What kind of knowledge is this? You see, it is that entity with which knowing happens. That is the whole point. All our knowledge is thought-based knowledge. Yes or no? All our knowledge is thought-based knowledge. We know everything in the form of thoughts. We know everything through mind. When there is a flower in front of me, how do I know that it is a flower? This particular flower creates a thought impression. Actually, I am experiencing that thought impression. So every knowledge of this world is of the nature of thoughts. How is the thought-based knowledge different from chit, consciousness? So the knowing of consciousness is pure knowing. Knowing of consciousness is independent knowing. Knowing of consciousness is absolute knowing. Knowing of consciousness is effortless knowing. Knowing is its nature. Just like reflection is the nature of a mirror, just like heat and light is the nature of sun. Nature means what? Effortlessness. In the same way, knowing is the nature of consciousness. To know, it doesn't need any instrument. So this ability of the mind to know, actually it is not its ability, it's a borrowed ability. Mind borrows the ability to know from consciousness. And the knowing of mind is always thought-based knowing. Now, thought-based knowing, is it effortful knowing or effortless knowing? It is effortful knowing. That is why in Satsang you doze off. When the concept becomes subtle, When the thinking becomes deep, hard, there is an exertion, and in that exertion, you are switched off. You are driving a vehicle, and the hill is too steep, the vehicle will not go up. Isn't it? Sometimes the concepts are such. All thought-based knowing is effortful. That's why after 1 hour, the mind is almost saturated. Now, enough, Baba, enough, you say. Whether it is meditation, whether it is listening to talk. After 40, 45, 1 hour, it reaches its saturation. How much ever interesting thing may be. Because there is an effort involved. It's not effortless. And why is it effort involved? Effort is involved because it is not the nature of the mind to know. Wherever something is natural, there is no effort. Mirrors reflection, there is no effort. Fire's heat, there is no effort. In the same way, consciousness knowing, there is no effort. So therefore, consciousness can keep on knowing. No recharging is necessary. That knowing ability is borrowed by the mind, and the mind appears to know. Now, as far as the mind is concerned, there can be 2 options. Knowing and not knowing. The mind's knowing has got 2 options. Ignorance and knowledge. So you say, do you know Spanish? No, I don't know. Do you know English? Yes, I know. Jnana, Ajnana. What about the knowing of consciousness? So in that sense it is said, Jnana Varjita. This knowing of consciousness is not a thought-based knowing. You cannot think of consciousness. You can only be conscious. To know consciousness, you don't need the mind. You don't have to entertain a thought to know consciousness. It is there, you have to just shift an attention, that's all. For remaining in the state of being, mind is not needed. Jnana Varjita, Ajnana Hina Chitta. Can you be ignorant of consciousness? No. You may not pay attention to consciousness, but it is always there. Mind is not needed to know consciousness. It is always there. If you want to study Spanish, you'll have to put forth effort because you have to create thoughts of Spanish. There's an effort involved. And if you don't study, Ajnana will be there. If you study, Jnana will be there. If you don't study, Ajnana will be there. You will forget. If you study Bhagavad Gita, fine. Jnana is there. If you don't revise the verses, you will forget Ajnana. So this Jnana and Ajnana of the world, whatever we have gathered, everything is thought-based. And all these thought-based can have knowledge and ignorance. But what about consciousness? It is neither knowledge. Neither knowledge means what? It is not thought-based. Neither is it ignorance. It is ever there. It is exactly like, you see, in the movie when you see, there's a screen. And suppose Ramayana is happening. Whole Ramayana movie. If I ask you this question, is the screen there in Ramayana? So you can neither say yes nor say no. Because in the Ramayana story, screen is not there. If you say yes, then tell me which episode Rama speaks about the screen. In the story part, there is no screen. So is screen there in Ramayana story? No. But is it not there in Ramayana story? Yes, because the whole story is playing upon the screen. So, what status will you give for the screen with respect to the movie? You will have to say, it is neither Sat nor Asat. Neither is the screen existing in Ramayana, nor can we say it is not existing, because the whole Ramayana is being played on the screen. So it is something different. Neither Sat nor Asat. Something like that is being said here. What is consciousness? Consciousness is that upon which thought-based knowledge is also shining. Thought-based ignorance also is shining. When I say I know English, that I know English is a thought. Where is it shining? In consciousness. When I say I don't know Spanish, where is that ignorance shining? In consciousness. Knowledge and ignorance both are shining in consciousness. So therefore, jnanamasti kim jnatumantaram. Once you know this consciousness, the supreme knower, the only knower, what else is there to be known? Jnanamasti kim jnatumantaram. Bhagavan, why should I struggle to gain this self-knowledge? What is the purpose? What is the benefit? You know what is the benefit? See the next one. Kim swarupametyatmadarshane avyaya bhava purnachit sukham. Kim swarupametyatmadarshane avyaya bhava purnachit sukham. Yes. Kim swarupam. What is the nature of Atmadarshanam, vision of the self? How do we experience it? How do we feel it? What is that feel? Or we can also say, what is the benefit? The benefit is avyaya, abhava, apurna, chit, sukham. Sukham, bliss, fulfillment, ananda, contentment, whatever the name you may call. What kind of ananda is it? Avyaya, imperishable. Abhava, unborn. Apurna, complete, most fulfilling. You come to know that there is nothing lacking in me. I am already purnam, complete, perfect. The mind becomes silent in its source. The experience is bliss. Every one of us, we are struggling in life, working hard in life. For what? Finally, it is for happiness. That happiness is already there. You know, this life is a treasure hunt. You know the treasure hunt game? So there are so many clues and you keep on jumping from one clue to another, hunting for the treasure. So all of us are hunting this treasure. What is this treasure? The treasure of joy, treasure of happiness. Everybody, not just human beings. Insects, plants, animals, birds. The world is a place of treasure hunt. And where does this hunt stop? You go to the world, search for happiness, get beaten, become humbled. Then out of compassion of some guru, he guides you, hey, don't go out, go in. Then you look within and you find there. Abba. You are back home. Sweet home. Hritstale manaswasthata. Right. Otherwise, you just imagine millions and billions of births. You can go on hunting for happiness, peace, fulfillment. And nowhere it is there. Because why it is not there? Because you are searching in a place where it doesn't exist. I remember the story of that old lady with the needle. So this old lady was searching. Where? Under the street light. So one person came. So this was the main road. So this old grandma was searching. Amma, what are you searching? I lost my needle. This person also started searching. Another person came. What are you both searching? No, this Amma lost her needle. Okay, that person also started. Finally, there was a crowd searching for the needle under the street light. Some sensible person came and asked, Amma, where did you lose it? So this Amma said, I lost it in my hut. If you have lost it in your hut, why are you searching here? No, here there is light. In my hut there is no light. It's a very famous Vedantic story. In the same way, where are we searching for happiness? In the world. Is it there? It is not there. Where have we lost it? We have lost it here, inside. Where are we searching? We are searching outside. If you have lost it here, you will have to find it here. How can you find it there? Right. When I look within, I don't find peace here. Disturbance is found. But outside, I find sense pleasures, which is giving me some peace. So therefore, I go out. If you have lost here, you will have to find here. Isn't it? Why is it that when I look within, I am not finding happiness? I am not finding happiness because when I look within, I am not seeing aham, I am seeing aham vritti. Vritti, its nature is misery. Aham vritti is miserable. Because aham vritti is born out of identification with the body. Body is imperfect. Body is limited. Body is impermanent. When you identify with anything which is imperfect, limited and impermanent, you can never be happy. So therefore, what should we do? I am not finding happiness within because I am coming face to face with aham vritti. So what should I do? Remove the aham vritti and find out the real aham. Thus you find the joy within. Another beautiful example Bhagavan Shankaracharya gives. You know this sandalwood, chandanam. If you keep it in water for a long time, there's a particular layer which comes around. And it's very stinking one. Sandalwood is very fragrant. But if it is put in water for a long time, it starts decaying, So the outer part is very stinking. So what will you do? You remove that layer because inside the chandanam is there. In the same way, this aham vritti is that layer. The layer of wrong notion. The biggest mistake we find is when we find that whenever I am sitting alone, I am bored. And therefore, I try to escape from myself by going out. You see, all these Saturday, Sundays, people are full in mall, supermarket, mall, etc. Why? Saturday, Sunday, there is nothing else to do. And when I sit with myself, I am terribly bored. So therefore, what is the conclusion? Happiness is not inside. When I look into the world, I find some worldly happiness. And then I go out. this is a big mistake. You are wasting your life because you are searching for happiness where it is not there. It's a total waste of time. Just imagine life after life. Every life is nothing but death. Mrityo samrityam gacchati. Yahi ananeva pashyati. Kathopanishad warning. A person, if the fellow ignores this knowledge, he is going from death to death. You see? Uttishtata, Jagrata, arise, awake. Don't waste your life like this. Prapya varanni bodhata. Approach the masters and gain this knowledge. You see? So is this knowledge optional or mandatory? If you are serious about peace and happiness, if you are serious about permanent peace, then you have no other choice. Right. Who gains this knowledge? Next verse, verse number 29. Bandhamuktyatītam param sukham vindatiha jīvastu daivikaha. Bandhamuktyatītam param sukham vindatiha jīvastu daivikaha. This sukham, which is param sukham, supreme, you can't even think of higher. Param sukham. And what is the nature of this? Bandha mukti atitam, which is beyond bandhana and mukti, bondage and liberation. Really speaking, there is never a time when we were bound. That is the meaning. This bondage is only a wrong notion in the mind. There was never a time when we were bound. We only imagine that we are bound. And since we are never bound, there is no question of liberation. So, bandha mukti atitam param. It is like a person who is turning this side. You know, there are three walls. Actually, the back side, there is no wall. There is this wall. And this person is looking at this. And he thinks that he is bound. Back side, it is open. So now, is he bound or liberated? He was never bound. He can always go out. In the same way, we are stuck up with this aham vritti. And we think we are bound. Actually, aham vritti is nothing but a bundle of wrong notion. That's all. It's not reality. It is just an imagination. We imagine that we are bound. Just like in dream. In the dream, the person is going through misery. It is all the imagination of the dreaming mind. Actually, where is he? He is comfortably lying on the bed. But now he is imagining. So in the same way, this bondage is born out of imagination. So therefore, wise person is the one who will get out of this bondage by putting an end to this imagined I. Aham vritti. Destroy this I, born out of wrong notion. Be awakened to this real I in you and be free. But who gains it? Vindati iha. Right here, vindati. Who attains? Daivikaha jivaha vindati. A divine soul. Daivikaha. Yes. So here the qualification is mentioned. The one who has purified the mind through puja, japa, dhyana, etc. One who has gained this knowledge through the scriptures by approaching the teacher, such a divine soul, definitely he gains it. The one who has Daivi Sampat. What is Daivi Sampat? All the noble virtues of life. That is called as Daivi Sampat. Not any Tom, Dick and Harry can gain this knowledge. A person should live a righteous life, performing all duties as a worship of the Lord, cultivating the noble emotions of gratitude, humility, devotion, surrender. Such a jiva is called a daivika jiva. Such a person gains this knowledge. In the last verse, the parting advice of Bhagavan Ramana, verse number 30. Ahamapetakam nijavibhanakam mahadidam tapo ramanavagiyam ahamapetakam nijavibhanakam mahadidam tapo ramanavagiyam. Yes. So, mahat idam tapas. This is the greatest tapas which everyone should do. What is that tapas? Aham apetakam. That tapas with which aham falls. Which aham? Aham vritti, the ego. That tapas where we do everything to destroy the ego, to efface the ego. Nija vibhanakam, and thus allowing the real aham to shine forth, real God to shine forth. So, God-oriented life, self-oriented life, in which the ego is destroyed, aham vritti is destroyed. This is mahat idam tapah, greatest tapas. No other tapas is a tapas. If any other tapas doesn't have these elements, then it is no tapas at all. You may do any kind of tapas. You may torture your body. It doesn't make any sense. The real tapas is this. How diligently you are trying to get rid of this ego. What are we doing in our life? We are trying to nourish the ego, isn't it? Name, fame, recognition, award, reward. So you are getting bound. Choice is yours. You can nourish this ego or you can puncture this ego. When you are puncturing this ego, effacing this ego, dissolving this ego, you are going Godward. And this is the greatest tapas. This is the greatest tapas because then you are inching towards liberation, towards your own infinite source. Mahat idam tapa. Ramana vak iyam. This is Ramana's word. Meaning what? I can tell you with my experience. Take it from me. Ramana Vakya. That confidence he says. It is a fact. Aham apetakam nijavibhanakam. So every time, whatever we do in this world, ask this question. In this process, am I fattening my ego or am I thinning my ego? Bas. Always ask this question. It is possible that you are doing a noble act outside and in the process ego is fattened. It is possible. Others are praising you. Oh, you are a great man. And you are doing something noble also. Something good for the community. But deep down, if the ego is raising its hood, understand, even with that punya karma, you are only getting bound. Beware. It is something which only you will know, others will never know. It's something which is secretly happening within. Pay attention there. Be alert, be vigilant. That is the meaning. Uttishtata, Jagrata. Be alert. Alert, vigilant living is spiritual living. So I sincerely invoke the grace of the Lord, the blessings of Bhagavan Ramana. May we all do this great tapas and put an end to this miserable merry-go-round business. It is not merry-go-round, it is misery-go-round. Jump out of it. Such an option is there. May we exercise that option. बिना ये ज्ञान कहाँ रे मनवा, गुरु बिना ये ज्ञान कहाँ रे मन, गुरु बिना ये ज्ञान बिना ये ध्येय अधूरा, हरि चरण कमल कैसे पाऊं, बिना ये ज्ञान कहाँ रे मनवा, बिना ये काम क्रोध मद लोभ मोह मिल, अहंकार है जीव का दुश्मन, काम क्रोध मद लोभ मोह मिल, अहंकार है जीव का दुश्मन, भक्ति विनय से सेवा भाव से, भक्ति विनय से सेवा भाव से, जानो ये गुरु महिमा रे मनवा, पहचानो ये गुरु महिमा रे मन, पहचानो ये ज्ञान बिना ये ध्येय अधूरा, हरि चरण कमल कैसे पाऊं, बिना ये ज्ञान कहाँ रे मनवा, बिना ये नित्य निरंतर अंतर्यामी, हृदय विराजे मेरे स्वामी, नित्य निरंतर अंतर्यामी, हृदय विराजे मेरे स्वामी। कैसे पाऊं उस भगवान को, कैसे पाऊं उस भगवान को। गुरु कृपा के बिना रे मनवा, गुरु दया के बिना रे मनवा। ज्ञान बिना ये ध्येय अधूरा, हरि चरण कमल कैसे पाऊं, बिना ये ज्ञान कहाँ रे मनवा। गुरु बिना ये ज्ञान कहाँ रे मनवा। ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। असतो मा सद्गमय, तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते, पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।
Testing. Hari Om, everyone. Oh, can you guys hear me okay? Hey, my job here is to give a vote of thanks. And of course, my main role is to thank Swamiji. But before I do that, I want to give some other thanks. I want to thank the audience for attending. Otherwise, this event would have been meaningless, right? And some of you were gracious enough to sponsor many of the events, including the food and sponsorship of the daily Yajna. So thank you for that. And I also want to thank the bhajan singers who just gave a beautiful renditions over the last few days. And the Ahara team, just excellent food over the course of this affair. And I also want to thank our technology team for all the images, getting the slokams on time for us to chant. By the way, I do have a trivia question for you. Does anybody know what temple is being shown here? It's not a random choice. That's right, Arunachalam temple, which is, of course, fully associated with Ramana Maharishi. So I want to thank all of those people who made this event possible. But of course, my main job today is to thank Swamiji. In our journey through life, we occasionally encounter people who possess a remarkable gift. And the gift is the ability to distill complex ideas into simple and clear language. I'm thinking about speakers who make us exclaim, "Ah, I understand. I thought I knew, but now I really know," when people like that speak to us. Think about some of the greatest communicators in our time, right? Richard Feynman, Bill Gates, Bill Clinton. And I want to add to that list Swami Aparajitananda. And I would actually boldly place Swamiji at the top of that list. You know, if Bill Gates, for example, told us about the technology, Bill Clinton about politics, and Richard Feynman about theoretical physics, all of which are important subjects. But none of them are as vital as the topic we heard about today, this last few days. Upadesa Sara, after all, is the story of ourselves, the most important character. In fact, the only important character in our narrative of our own life, right? And let's not underestimate the complexity of Upadesa Sara. The message is subtle, complex, and yet, with Swamiji's guidance over the last few days, it seemed deceptively simple, right? It seemed like we could possibly understand it. That's genius. Let me just give you a couple of examples. Swamiji taught us, for example, that we have to start from scratch, as he said. We must recognize our own insignificance. We even learned 4 new Mahavakyas, right? I am nothing, I have nothing, I can do nothing, I know nothing. I told Swamiji that we should add these Mahavakyas to our meditation room, because for a seeker like me, these Mahavakyas are more important, more relevant than the Mahavakyas we have in there now. And another example, Swamiji told us the logical fallacy of our equation of life, right? Work hard gives happiness. He told us how and why, convincingly, without any equivocation, why that equation is wrong. And those teachings, which are transformative, are just from the first 2 days of this discourse. By the way, if any of you happen to miss any part, any moment of this discourse, I would encourage you to see the recordings, which we'll be posting on the website within the next couple of days. And what is Swamiji's voice? Despite never having received any formal training in music, he enchanted us with bhajans that were soul-stirring and in perfect Shruti. Behind Swamiji's calm demeanor, unassuming demeanor, and his slight stature lies a towering intellect, a master of Vedanta, and just unparalleled wisdom. I have no words actually to convey the depth of my gratitude. But the words I'm saying here are just an attempt. All I can do is give my pranams to Swamiji for sharing his wisdom with us. And in conclusion, I would like all of us to make a commitment, and I'm talking to myself actually, to take Swamiji's words and allow them to illuminate our path forward and enrich our lives. With his guidance, we can hope to continue on this path, this journey toward greater understanding and self-knowledge. Hari Om, Swamiji. With that, I'm going to turn over the microphone to Saru, who's going to give us some announcements.
Everyone. Before we proceed to Aarti today, just have a few quick announcements, primarily about Swamiji's schedule and how we can all enjoy his continued presence for at least one more day. Right after Aarti, we'll have our group picture, of course. Thank you to everyone who's here in white or off-white for the picture. Right after the picture, of course, we'll have everyone gets an opportunity to offer your Guru Dakshina and receive a Yajna Prasad from Swamiji. Thank you to all our lunch sponsors who have graciously given Annadanam, and we have lunch for everyone in the dining room right after that. This evening, there's another opportunity to meet Swamiji. Swamiji will be visiting our Sanjeevani Center. At Sanjeevani, he'll be at 5:15. He will be meeting high school children and 8th grade and above. And then there's also a Satsang at 6 to 7. Swamiji will be talking about intelligent living, I heard. And of course, there's followed by dinner, prasad for everyone. Tomorrow, there's a couple of opportunities. In the morning, Swamiji is conducting Balavihar. He'll be giving it, addressing all the families here. So 11 to 12, there will be Swamiji's discourse. So if anyone here would like to attend that, that's another opportunity. In the evening, Swamiji will be at Vishalaji and Satishji's house. So those of you who are interested can attend for dinner at 6 p.m. If you're interested, please contact Visalaji for that. Thank you, Visalaji, for extending this invitation to everyone. And before that, and for all the Gyan Yajna attendees, I have some news from our tree planting sponsor. They have kindly, generously donated for planting 501 trees in honor of all the attendees these 5 days. So very appreciative of that. I think we are ready for the Jnana Yajna now. But before, we are ready for the Aarti now. But before that, we would like to announce all the Annadanam sponsors and the Aarti sponsors. Today's lunch is sponsored by Ahara volunteers. It has been prepared by the Ahara volunteers. Thank you for them, and thank you for all our Annadanam sponsors. Nilima Dash, Geeta Patel, Usha ji, and Jagdish Bhatnagar ji. And Sheila and Ganesh, our Aarti sponsors are Jaideep Patel and all the Ahara volunteers. Please, I request all of you to come forward to do the Aarti. Thank you.
Just before that, one more announcement about one more amazing WhatsApp group. I don't know whether about the other WhatsApp group that you have, but this WhatsApp group will be really amazing because this will get you all of our CAP announcements and all event ready. So if you're not part of this WhatsApp group already, you can definitely scan the QR code and you'll be one of 525 people who are already there. So those have the QR code displayed out there on the board.
आरती श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरु की दिव्य रूप मूर्ति करुणा की। आरती सद्गुरु की। चरणों में उनके शांति समाए, शरणागत की भ्रांति मिटाए, पाप ताप संताप हरण की। आरती श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरु की। आरती वेद उपनिषद गीता को गाया, धर्म सनातन फिर से जगाया। शुद्ध नीति प्रीति शंकर की। आरती श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरु की। आरती सद्गुरु की। सिद्ध बारी की तपोभूमि में नित्य विराजे गुरु हमारे। भक्त हृदय आनंद स्रोत की। आरती श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरु की। आरती सद्गुरु की। आरती सद्गुरु की। बोलिए श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। All of you are most welcome to Chicago Center whenever you come that side. Hari Om. Yes.
Now have the group picture.
Ah.
We're going to have this chair here, Swamiji can sit here. We're going
Okay.
to clear this area.
Ah.
People will slowly come up.
Okay.
Just one more minute before you start to come up here.
Yes.
Take it to the green room. Yeah, Mr. Bhatt. Suresh, you can position the Okay, you can slowly have people come here. Just one quick warning. If there are any young children, please try to, as soon as the picture is done, try to avoid jumping from here. Because this banner gets torn. So just, like, I'll be on the spot.
Yes.
Suresh will come from here. Akhil, just hold auntie's hand. Yes, let me have a picture. So sitting, Firoz, you want to sit here? Your name is Eva Patel, right? She is the one who keeps some slippers in the shelf. The rest everything is only carrying air. All the other things. She's the only one who keeps the slippers right there. Auntie, you will come ahead somewhere? Yeah. Mahesh, and Mahesh, can you come on this side? I'm also on that side. Suman, on that side. chairs. Do the Guru Dakshina process.
Go for that one.